Recently, I spoke at a JDRF event that was all about camp. I think it was called Summer Survival. And I am a big fan of camp, not just diabetes camp. I went to camp, my husband went to camp, sleepaway camp, and day camp. My dad went to camp, my sister went to camp, my daughter went to camp, and now my son went to camp. So there's a bit of a family tradition in there. We found diabetes camp, the first diabetes camp, when my son was very small. He was, I want to say, 4 years old. So he'd had diabetes for about 2 years. And a local endocrinology office puts on a summer day camp for little kids all the way to age 17. But, there's not a lot of camps for those little kids. There's not a lot of programs. And for many parents, this camp was the first time that they'd let their pretty much toddler child with type 1 diabetes go with somebody else for the whole day. It's a pretty incredible program, and I think it encapsulates what diabetes camp is all about, which is, hoping that we teach our kids independence, confidence, responsibility, and just let them get that, I don't know if enjoyment is the right word, but that satisfaction of being with other kids, other people that are like them. There's that automatic acceptance, no weird looks when you take out your meter. Everybody knows that pumps are going to be making noises. The food has the carb counts. Maybe there's gluten-free as an option for kids that need it. So when he was old enough to go to the sleepaway diabetes camp in our area, he was ready and raring to go. His sister had already gone to sleepaway camp for a couple of years, a regular sleepaway camp program. She goes for almost a month, and he was ready to go. Interestingly, he actually went a year before he was supposed to go. He's a big kid, and when he was at the day camp, a couple of people who work at both identified him as being ready and said, "Hey, is he going? Are you ready?" And I said, "Sure," not realizing that he was a year younger, but apparently they make exceptions, so I'm not getting anybody into trouble for that. So he went when he was 7 years old, off to sleepaway camp for diabetes for a week. And he came home and said, "This is the best week of the year." I mean, he just wanted to go back immediately. And I think it's because for most kids, diabetes camp isn't, this is camp and diabetes. It's just camp where all the kids and most of the counselors and a lot of the medical staff, has diabetes. And they have fun, and sure, they learn about it, but it's not in their face. It's just part of the air. So there's swimming and there's zip lining and there's a big dance at our camp. I can't tell you stories, I'm not allowed. But it's an experience that makes them feel comfortable. And then back to the parents, camp is so great for parents because it's a break. And I know some parents feel guilty about that they feel good about getting that break from maybe you do middle of the night checks, or you're really careful about what you're eating, or, just that day in and day out grind of diabetes that, our kids are not going to get a break from, or if you're a person with diabetes, you're not going to get a break from. But for parents, I don't think there really should be any guilt about letting go for that 1 week. It's a time to recharge. It's a time to be a little selfish, take a little time for you. So when your child comes home, you are ready to jump right back in. So I would urge you, if you're thinking about camp, to research what's in your area, find out more, and see if your child is interested. Although, there's a lot of stories about kids that are reluctant to go. We have a camp director who tells a great story how he cried when his parents dropped him off, many years ago, and then he cried when they came to pick him up because he didn't ever want to leave. Not every kid is going to love diabetes camp, but I think every kid with diabetes should give camp a try.